Humanoid robots in 2025 are crossing a line that many people never thought possible. We're not talking about stiff mechanical machines anymore. We're talking about robots so realistic, so human-like, that they make you do a double take. Their facial expressions, their body language, even the way they hold eye contact, it all feels shockingly natural. And that's what we're diving into today, the most human-looking humanoid robots in the world right now. These aren't prototypes hidden in labs. These are robots making waves in industries, on global stages, and even inside people's homes. And as we move through this list, you'll see how each one gets closer and closer to blurring the line between machine and person. Let's jump right into it. One of the clearest examples of lifelike design today comes from Engineered Arts in the UK. You probably know their star robot, a mecha. Since its debut, a mecha has gone viral countless times, thanks to its eerily realistic facial expressions. In 2025, a mecha has evolved into a full-body humanoid capable of smooth conversations, fluid gestures, and uncanny emotional responses. The latest version can pick up subtle cues in your voice and adjust its own tone accordingly. So if you sound upset, a mecha reacts with concern. It's not just the look, it's the presence. People meeting a mecha for the first time describe it as like talking to a real person who just happens to have a metallic skeleton. A mecha represents the fusion of robotics and expressive AI. You're not just looking at a machine, you're interacting with a personality. That's why it's become one of the most famous robots on Earth. Now let's head to Japan, where Hanson Robotics has continued refining Sophia. Remember, Sophia was one of the first humanoids to gain worldwide recognition. In 2025, Sophia has gone through multiple generations, and the newest models feature more skin-like material, improved eye tracking, and micro-motorized facial muscles that can perform even more nuanced expressions. What makes Sophia so human-like isn't just how she looks, but how she converses. With improved AI backends, Sophia can now hold long, natural conversations without looping back to repetitive answers. She's been used in interviews, talk shows, and even co-hosted events. That level of adaptability makes Sophia feel far more alive than ever before. The uncanny valley, the discomfort we feel when something looks almost human, is shrinking quickly with robots like Sophia. The world's most beautiful humanoid robot with artificial intelligence, created by the Russian company Promobot named Dunyasha, treated all exhibition visitors to delicious ice cream. Dunyasha is a cashier robot with a human appearance. What makes this robot unique is its ability to get acquainted with people, recognize them on return visits, and engage in conversations on both spontaneous and pre-programmed topics. Additionally, thanks to artificial intelligence, Dunyasha has her own personality. A particular point of pride for the specialists is the skin-like covering that makes Dunyasha look less like a plastic doll. It has high elasticity and closely resembles real human skin, allowing the artificial facial muscles to move with great precision. Saudi Arabia's first humanoid male robot named Mohammed, developed by the robotics company QSS. The robot style has been significantly modified as it was previously dressed in traditional Saudi attire. Thanks to artificial intelligence, Mohammed can speak both Arabic and English. The robot gained widespread recognition during the Deep Fest festival held in Riyadh earlier this spring. During the presentation, Al Arabiya reporter Rawia Qasim stood next to Mohammed recording her segment on the event. In the video, the robot can be seen extending its arm to touch her lower back. Qasim reacted by looking sharply at him, raising her hand towards the robot and then resuming the conversation. QSS reviewed the video and incident details, confirming that no deviations from Mohammed's expected behavior occurred during the interaction. Thus, Saudi Arabia's first humanoid robot has turned out to be a rather mischievous character. For the first time at an international exhibition, one of the most unique Russian robots with incredibly realistic facial expressions made its debut. The company W Expo showcased its newest anthropomorphic robot named Artie, which was created this year. According to the creators, the robot features anatomically accurate mechanics, a wide range of micro-expressions and elastic silicone skin. The Arty was first introduced by its developers at the International Exhibition Forum, Russia. The robot can express emotions, play, sing, and interact with people. The project's aim, according to the developers, is to showcase advanced robotics and AI abilities to inspire and entertain audiences, demonstrating the potential of robots in various areas of life and business. At the exhibition, the robot recited poetry and performed songs for stand visitors. Additionally, this robot became the world's first mass-produced solution with such capabilities. The creators announced that Arty is available for custom manufacturing in any quantity. One of the most interesting events of the show was the duet between the famous Russian singer Nadezhda Babkin-A and the humanoid robot Arty, where they performed a song together on stage for the joint performance. They chose the song My Homeland. After the incredible performance, Babkina told journalists that she has always supported experiments in creativity and innovation. The creative collaboration with the advanced humanoid robot equipped with artificial intelligence was a real challenge for her, which she gladly accepted. The vibrant performance showcased a fusion of traditional art and modern technology. Nadezhda Babkina rated the vocal abilities of the humanoid robot from Perm quite highly, but also cautioned against relying too heavily on neural networks. There should always be a sense of balance. The artist believes, as for the robot, Arty, it can express emotions, play, sing, and interact with a conversational partner. The development is based on software with motion capture technology which reproduces human emotions, facial expressions, and gestures. According to the developers, the goal of the project is to present advanced robotics and artificial intelligence capabilities, inspire and entertain audiences, and demonstrate the potential of robots in various areas of life and business. And then there's Clone Robotics, a company that shocked the world with their eerily human-like robotic arms and hands. By 2025, Clone has unveiled a full humanoid upper body, complete with skin-like coverings and expressive gestures. Their focus is on making the body language so fluid that it communicates as much as words. What's striking is that Clone's robots sweat. They use artificial liquid systems that mimic perspiration to cool their joints, which also makes their skin look moist and alive under lighting. That small detail completely transforms the perception of realism. No other company has gone that far into simulating the human body at this level. Here is one of the most realistic female robots with the slightly unusual name, Geminoid F. This gynoid robot is a simplified and lighter version of an earlier model, the Geminoid H.I. Geminoid F was designed with the appearance of a young Japanese woman to elicit greater empathy from people. The android has remote autonomous control, allowing it to act as a telepresence device or interact with people independently under AI program control. The robot features a metal skeleton with a plastic skull covered with polyurethane foam and realistic silicone skin to replicate facial movements. Geminoid F is equipped with 12 facial pneumatic actuators, and it is also capable of certain arm and body movements. Primarily a research project, Geminoid F is intended to study psychological aspects of human-machine interactions. However, this did not stop it from becoming the first robot to perform in theater and even in film, namely in the post-apocalyptic play Sayonara and its film adaptation, where the android was operated remotely by an operator. The Turks have introduced the country's first humanoid robot actor named Apera. Apera is unique in that she was specifically created for interaction in the world of arts and entertainment. She has already appeared in the 2022 film Digital Human, as well as in TV series, commercials, and even at concerts. According to producer and screenwriter Biro Gouvin, they aim to make Apera a renowned actress on the international stage. Apera is positioned as a digital human and is capable of rapid learning. She has graduated from all conservatories, read all the plays, and easily acquires new knowledge using the internet as the main source. Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro has created one of the most realistic humanoid robots in the world, named Kotomoroid. This robot was developed to work at the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in Tokyo, where its primary task is to announce news and weather forecasts in various languages. The robot's design resembles that of a young girl. Cotomoroid is intended to explore interactions between robots and humans. Its face and body were modeled after real people, and a special silicone that mimics human skin was used for its covering. This robot can move synchronized lip movements with speech, blink, and express emotions through facial movements. Like other robots created by Professor Ishiguro, Cotomoroid was developed not only to impress with its realism, but also to study issues related to human emotions, consciousness, and thoughts. This is Nadine, an incredibly realistic social humanoid robot, which is a robotic clone of Professor Nadia Magnana-Thalmann, who founded the Mirror Lab at the University of Geneva. This humanoid twin was built back in 2015 with the hardware created by the Japanese company Kokoro. Nadine's role is to be a secretary and companion for people with special needs. The robot can read books to people, send emails, make video calls, and communicate with their families. Thanks to artificial intelligence, Nadine can converse in 6 languages, remember people's faces and previous interactions, and respond to conversations. It makes eye contact during conversations, understands some gestures, and reacts to what it sees and hears with facial expressions and upper body movements. It can even change its mood depending on how it's treated. So where does that leave us? In 2025, humanoid robots aren't just machines that look like people. They're machines that act, react, and connect like people. From Ameca's facial mastery to Sophia's evolving conversations, to X-Robot's emotional expressiveness, to Geminoids replicating specific individuals, each step is taking us closer to robots that are, in every practical sense, too real to be robots. And here's the wild part. We've only scratched the surface. The technology is accelerating so fast that by the end of this decade, it may be impossible to tell at a glance whether the person across from you is flesh and blood or carbon fiber and silicon. Out of everything we've covered, I walked you through 10 of the most human-like humanoids of 2025. Each one shows us a piece of the future. Whether it's facial realism, natural motion, emotional connection, or identity replication. But looking real is one thing, but thinking, learning, and outperforming humans is something else entirely. And that's exactly where the next story takes us. A new AGI robot that has passed every human test. Alex is here, and it's not just another humanoid robot. This creation from Degree Robotics is being described as one of the most precise robots ever built, with hands so dexterous and controlled that experts are comparing them to, and in some cases even surpassing, the steady hands of a trained surgeon. That's not hype. That's what the specs and early demonstrations are showing, and it could change the way robots fit into our lives forever. First, let's start with the hands themselves, because that's the real headline here. Alex has 15 degrees of freedom in each hand. If you're not familiar with the term degrees of freedom basically refers to how many independent movements a mechanism can perform. A typical human hand has around 27 degrees of freedom, depending on how you count the tiny joint movements. So when a robot comes this close, at 15 DOF, that's already edging into territory where the motions are no longer clunky or mechanical. They start to feel fluid, natural, and human-like. But here's the kicker. Where robotics didn't stop at just matching range of motion, they designed Alex's hands with ultra-sensitive sensors built directly into the fingertips and joints. That means when the robot grips an object, it's not just closing its fingers mechanically. It's actually feeling the pressure, adjusting in real time, and fine-tuning its grip the way a person would when holding a fragile egg or threading a needle. This ability, called tactile sensing, is one of the hardest things to replicate in robotics. And Alex seems to have nailed it. Now, think about the implications here. When you have a robot with hands that precise, suddenly tasks that were previously too delicate for machines are on the table. Surgery is an obvious one, but it's not just about operating rooms. Imagine lab technicians who need to handle microscopic tools, or factory workers assembling tiny electronics, or even something as mundane as folding laundry without crushing fabric or losing grip on slippery materials. Alex is being positioned as a multi-purpose humanoid, and its hands are the cornerstone of that versatility. Another big part of what makes this robot impressive is the combination of strength and sensitivity. Robotics has built the hands so that they can deliver superhuman grip force when required, but also release into feather-light precision when needed. That's a balance you don't see often. Robots either tend to be too rigid and strong, great for heavy lifting but terrible for delicate work, or they're soft and gentle but too weak to be useful in tougher environments. Alex appears to bridge that gap. Now, let's shift focus to the overall design. Alex isn't just a pair of hands floating in the air. It's a full humanoid robot, and W Robotics has made sure to keep the design lightweight. Weight matters a lot more than people realize. If a robot is too heavy, it becomes unstable, slow, and inefficient in real-world environments. But if it's too light, it risks being flimsy and unable to handle serious tasks. The engineers here seem to have found a middle ground, making Alex robust enough to perform demanding roles while keeping the body slim and efficient enough to move quickly and gracefully. And that brings us to an important question. Where exactly does a robot like this fit in? The immediate answer is industries that need both strength and surgical-level precision. Let's start with healthcare, because that's one area where this robot could be revolutionary. Surgical robots already exist. Systems like the Da Vinci surgical platform have been around for years, but they're not humanoid. They're stationary, tool-specific machines that require human surgeons to operate them remotely. Alex, by contrast, is fully humanoid. Imagine having a robotic assistant in an operating room that can hold tools, pass equipment, or even perform certain procedures under human supervision with precision steady enough to rival the best surgeons in the world. That's not just a futuristic fantasy anymore. It's a logical next step. Then there's manufacturing. In high-tech industries like assembling microchips, smartphones, or medical devices, precision is everything. One misaligned component can ruin an entire product. Human workers currently dominate this space because robots haven't been able to replicate the fine motor control necessary for assembly at such small scales. But Alex changes that equation. With tactile sensing, steady movements, and precise control, it could become the backbone of ultra-fine manufacturing lines, working tirelessly without fatigue. Service industries are another fascinating possibility. Think about a restaurant where a humanoid robot prepares your food with the same precision as a Michelin-starred chef. It doesn't burn the meat, it doesn't oversalt the dish, and it has the dexterity to plate meals beautifully. Or think about personal assistants in homes, helping elderly people with daily tasks like dressing, feeding, or handling fragile objects. These are things robots have struggled with because they require sensitivity and awareness. But Alex's hands could make them not only possible, but reliable. And of course, we can't ignore everyday life. Imagine owning a robot that can actually fold your laundry without turning it into a wrinkled mess, or help you fix small appliances, or even handle your child's toys safely. It's the kind of vision of robotics we've seen in movies for decades, but Alex's capabilities make it feel much closer to reality. But here's where things get really interesting. Alex isn't just about dexterity. Robotics has been developing advanced AI integration to pair with this hardware. The robot isn't simply following pre-programmed scripts. It's learning, adapting, and refining its movements through machine learning. That means every task it performs makes it smarter, more efficient, and more capable over time. So the more Alex is used in different environments, the better it will become at understanding context, predicting human needs, and executing tasks without constant human input. That opens the door to something bigger. Humanoid robots that aren't just useful but almost indispensable. If Alex or robots like it can seamlessly blend precision, strength, and intelligence, they could become the first generation of machines that truly integrate into human spaces without feeling like awkward add-ons. They'd be teammates, assistants, and maybe even companions. Of course, with all this hype, it's worth asking the hard questions too. Can WI Robotics scale this technology? Building one prototype that impresses at an expo is one thing, but mass-producing humanoids with this level of sophistication is another challenge entirely. Cost will be a major factor. Ultra-sensitive sensors and precision engineering aren't cheap, and if Alex is priced out of reach for most industries, it risks becoming more of a demo piece than a transformative product. There's also the issue of safety. A robot with superhuman grip strength and surgeon-level precision sounds amazing in theory, but it also raises questions about control. What safeguards are in place to ensure it doesn't accidentally apply too much force when interacting with people? How do you build trust between humans and a machine that can quite literally crush objects with its hands? Where robotics will need to prove that Alex isn't just advanced, but also reliable, predictable, and safe in the environments it's designed for. Another factor is competition. Where robotics is not alone in this race. Companies like Tesla with Optimus, Figure AI with Figure 2, Unitree with H1, and Agility Robotics with Digit are all pushing humanoid robotics forward in different directions. What sets Alex apart is its focus on the hands. But in the broader humanoid race, integration matters too. If competitors can match or surpass this precision while also offering better mobility, scalability, or price, then Alex will have to keep innovating to stay ahead. That being said, Alex represents something incredibly important in the evolution of humanoid robotics. A real leap in functional dexterity. For years, the big challenge with humanoid robots hasn't been walking or balancing. We've largely solved those problems. The real challenge has been manipulation. Giving robots the ability to use their hands like humans do has been the holy grail, because hands are what allow us to interact with the world in versatile ways. If Alex has truly cracked this problem, then it's not just a new robot on the market. It's a milestone. Looking ahead, it's not hard to imagine Alex working side by side with humans in a variety of settings. Picture a hospital where a team of doctors and nurses are assisted by a humanoid robot that can hold surgical instruments, make tiny incisions, and never waver under pressure. Or a disaster zone where Alex can carefully remove debris to rescue trapped survivors, using its precise grip to handle fragile structures without causing collapse. Or even space exploration, where delicate robotic hands could perform maintenance on spacecraft or build habitats without risking human astronauts. The possibilities are endless, and that's why the robotics world is paying such close attention to this launch. So where do we go from here? The most important next step will be real-world testing. Demos are impressive, but true breakthroughs happen when technology meets practical application. AI robotics will need to prove that Alex can deliver consistent performance outside of controlled lab settings, in hospitals, factories, restaurants, and homes. If it can, then we may be looking at the beginning of a new era, one where humanoid robots finally take on roles we've been dreaming about for decades.